Very pleased to have with us a couple of entrepreneurs from the great state of Alabama. Thad Holmes and Clem Parnell, the founders of Holy Smoke, joining us here on Cam and Company. Thad and Clem, thanks so much for your time tonight.
Yes, sir. Proud to be here.
Well, listen, it's great talking to you both. Ran across your story earlier today, actually a couple of days ago, and you all just tell us about the company Holy Smoke and what you guys are offering.
Okay, what we're offering is a way to celebrate life of a fellow sportsman or outdoorsman. We actually, if an outdoorsman passes and he is cremated, we can take a minute portion of the ashes and we can reload shells, shotguns, rifles, and or pistols. And you can have, let's say the guy's a skeet shooter, and he and his buddies have been shooting together for years, and he passes, and they want to have a day of celebration and remembrance of him. We can reload up 250 rounds of ammunition for them. They can go out and talk about all the good times they had and shoot skeet with his ashes in them.
You know, I got to say, I think this is actually a really great idea, and I know that you guys are just getting started, but the story that I was reading quoted a woman named Joyce Harrison from Spanish Fort, Alabama. She said that her husband of 42 years passed away 7 years ago, and she really wished that a product like this or a service like this was out there. She said towards the end he wasn't able to spend as much time hunting as he liked, but he took off any time he felt strong enough to get through. He always came home so relaxed and at peace with everything. This would have been perfect for him. What kind of reaction have you guys received so far?
Our reaction thus far has been positive via the internet and phone calls. We're running about 98% positive. You always get a few people. With 7 billion people on the planet, you get a few differing opinions. But we don't listen to the naysayers that much. We're a serious business. We handle this thing in a reverent way. We do not commingle ashes. We have 5 ATF certified reloaders. They do exactly like we want them to do. We can not only do we reload the ammunition for shooting targets in clay, we can actually reload loads for ducks, loads for quail, pheasant, etc. We can actually put a minute proportion of ashes in hollow point ammunition if you want to shoot a deer. And anybody knows if you make a good clean shot on a deer, it's pretty much dead on impact.
Yeah.
So there's no ash flowing because the heart's quit beating and there's no ashes going anywhere. Even if there were, ash is nothing but carbon. We wouldn't be alive without it in our system. So there's no toxicity involved in any way. We offer one other thing that we've just developed a load. We've gotten a lot of calls from military personnel and retired people and veterans. We're both veterans, me from the Army, my partner from the Navy. And we're getting a lot of calls from these people wanting to do a 21-gun salute. So we've came up with a load where we can load their ashes, no projectiles, and we can load a color into that ash and offer them a red, white, and blue 21-gun salute.
Oh, wow. That is incredible. How did you guys come up with this idea?
We're both active working officers, and we work night hunting or spotlighting, as some people call it. We spend countless hours out in the woods at night waiting for somebody to shoot a deer illegally. And you talk about everything. And my brother had just passed, and we got to talking about, life after death and how everybody has a funeral. And the morning's over, and everybody cries, and they put ashes, and somebody's cremated, and they set the ashes up on a mantle. A year or two later, they're hidden in a closet. A year or two later, the house is sold, and they're forgot about. And we just came up with, I'd like to do this. I'd like my ashes reloaded, and someone who I know is a good turkey hunter to take my ashes out and shoot turkeys with them. Bulk of the ashes.
Yeah, yeah. And so, again, this is a new company. You guys are just getting started,
Yes,
but
sir.
has there been a good amount of interest?
The interest is staggering. You would not believe. We have been on the range today basically since noon. We just got home. For the last 8 or 10 hours, we are both FBI certified instructors. We teach people how to shoot firearms. And we've been on the range all day, and we must have been interrupted 20 times via phone calls from different venues wanting to interview us just today alone. Of course, our computer screens are just overrun with people, Facebook positive, all of them.
Well, listen, fellas, you know, I said earlier, it seems sometimes like this country is not very fond of entrepreneurs these days. A lot of barriers put in the way of small business owners. I mean, have you guys run across any hurdles? I can't imagine that it's an easy sell when you say, all right, here's what we want to do. I mean, how many licensing boards and you know, committees in the bureaucracy do you guys have to deal with for something like this?
In Alabama, you have to be permitted by the county. You have to be permitted by Alabama State Revenue. You have to have licenses for all your reloaders through ATF, stuff like that. And getting everything copyrighted through attorneys, naturally. Yeah, it was tough going for a month or two, but we've weeded all the stuff out, and we're now set to go. We have our loaders have an average of 20 years experience loading various ammunition. Some of them specialize in shotguns, some specialize in pistols, some specialize in rifles. One interesting thing about the pistol, I'll give you a what-if example. What if I passed away? I have a wife and 4 daughters. I would like some of my ashes loaded in rounds. All of my family are avid shooters. All the girls. I was listening to your talk show a minute ago about the ladies, the 60 ladies. We have the same thing in Alabama called Becoming an Outdoor Woman, and we do the same thing.
Yep.
Which I think is fantastic. But I think that I would rest a little easier knowing, if I'm gone, that there's some ammunition available for each one of my family members, all ladies, to stop any intruder who may come into my house, and I would feel like I'm participating in that if some of my ashes were reloaded into those handgun shells.
You know, it's funny that you mentioned that. I just actually had a talk back from one of our listeners bringing up that same idea. Says you can now have a hero of the day, one of our armed citizens segments that's deceased. Imagine the irony of your parents, your protectors, still being able to smite a criminal in your protection even after they're gone.
Yes, sir. We offer that service, and that and the 3-color red, white, and blue patriotic theme 21-gun salute, I think, are going to be 2 big sellers for us.
Well, Thad and Clem, listen, I can't thank you enough for coming on the program, and I hope we can check back in with you in a few months and see how Holy Smoke is doing.
I hope you do, sir. Enjoyed talking with you.
Well, me too. Have a good evening, gentlemen. Thank you so much for your time tonight.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thad Holmes and Clem Parnell with Holy Smoke.